Everyone wants to be a millionaire. But here's the harsh truth. Before you can become one, you have to think like one. Because money doesn't just follow effort, it follows mindset. The reason most people stay broke isn't a lack of intelligence or opportunity. It's that they think like poor people even when they earn like rich ones. Poor thinking says, I can't afford this. Millionaire thinking asks, how can I afford this? Poor thinking says, more money will solve my problems. Millionaire thinking asks, what systems will keep money growing once I have it? The truth is, wealth is built twice. First in the mind, then in the bank account. And if you never upgrade your mindset, no amount of money will save you. That's why lottery winners go broke. That's why high earners stay trapped in debt. That's why millions of people keep working harder but never get ahead. The secret: start thinking like a millionaire now, before you ever become one. Because if your mind isn't rich, your money never will be. Imagine two coworkers. Same job, same paycheck, same hours. The first, Tom, thinks like most people. On payday, he spends a new phone upgrade, nights out, a nicer car with a loan. He tells himself, I work hard, I deserve it. But by the end of the month, his account is empty again. The second, Alex, thinks differently. He lives by the same income, but instead of asking, what can I buy? He asks, what can I build? He saves first, invests consistently, and sees money as a tool, not a prize. 10 years later, Tom is still working the same job, still drowning in payments. Alex, his investments are paying him back. He has choices Tom doesn't. Freedom to quit, freedom to travel, freedom to live life on his terms. Nothing magical happened to Alex. He didn't win the lottery or stumble into luck. The only difference was mindset. Tom thought like a consumer. Alex thought like a millionaire. And that difference, invisible in the short term, becomes a chasm in the long run. This is why millionaire thinking matters before you have millions. Because by the time the money arrives, it's already too late to build the habits that protect it. So what exactly is millionaire thinking? It starts with one shift. Money is not the goal. Money is the tool. Most people see money as the finish line. They think, if I just make more, everything will change. But that's consumer thinking, chasing dollars to spend them. Millionaires see money differently. They treat it like a worker. Every dollar is an employee that should be put to work, earning more dollars. A poor mindset spends its workers the moment they arrive. A wealthy mindset trains them, multiplies them, and builds an army of assets. Another shift. Poor thinking focuses on cost. Millionaire thinking focuses on value. When most people see a $500 course, they think, that's expensive. A millionaire asks, if this knowledge earns me $50,000 over my lifetime, is it really expensive? And finally, poor thinking avoids risk at all costs. Millionaire thinking manages risk, takes calculated chances, and understands that avoiding all risk is the biggest risk of all. These aren't just money habits. They're thought patterns. And once you adopt them, your decisions and your future change forever. Because the truth is, you don't become a millionaire when you hit 7 figures in the bank. You become a millionaire the moment you start thinking like one. Meet Rachel. She was a teacher making an average salary. No inheritance, no rich connections, no secret luck. Just a paycheck that barely stretched far enough. Most of her colleagues complained, saying, we'll never get ahead on this income. But Rachel thought differently. She decided that even if she couldn't control her salary, she could control her mindset. Instead of buying a new car, she drove her old one for 5 more years and invested the difference. Instead of spending weekends shopping, she took online courses in finance and marketing. Instead of saying, I can't afford it, she asked, how can I create extra income? Within 3 years, she started a tutoring business on the side. The extra money didn't go to vacations or gadgets. It went into index funds and savings. Within 10 years, her net worth was higher than some of her peers who had made twice her salary. Her secret wasn't magic. It wasn't even money. It was the way she thought. Rachel refused to think like someone stuck. She thought like someone building. And that single shift created a future her coworkers could never imagine. This is millionaire thinking. Not waiting for money to arrive, but preparing your mind to use it wisely when it does. Now meet Brian. On paper, he was winning. He had a high-paying corporate job that pulled in more than double what Rachel earned. His lifestyle looked impressive: new cars, luxury vacations, the latest gadgets. His friends envied him. But Brian thought like a spender, not a builder. Every raise became an excuse for a bigger house. Every bonus turned into another toy. He told himself, "I'll start saving later. Right now, I deserve to enjoy life." And then, the layoffs came. His company downsized, and suddenly the six-figure paycheck was gone. But the debt wasn't. The mortgage remained. The car payments remained. The credit cards were maxed out. Within months, the image of success crumbled. Despite earning far more than Rachel ever had, Brian had nothing to show for it. No investments. No savings. No plan. That's the trap of poor thinking, believing that income equals wealth. It doesn't. Wealth isn't about how much you make. It's about how much you keep and how wisely you use it. Rachel, with her modest salary but millionaire mindset, was free. Brian, with his high income but poor mindset, was broke. And that's the proof. You don't need millions to think like a millionaire. But if you don't think like one, millions will never save you. So what separates millionaire thinking from the rest? It's not luck. It's not genius. It's discipline. Millionaire thinking means delaying gratification. While most people crave instant rewards, the new phone, the flashy car, the weekend splurge, millionaires train themselves to wait. They see every dollar as a seed. Spend it now, and it's gone forever. Plant it wisely, and it grows into a tree that feeds you for life. It also means thinking long-term. Most people ask, "What will this give me today?" Millionaires ask, "What will this build for me in 10 years?" That single question changes every decision, from how they spend to how they invest to how they use their time. And perhaps most importantly, millionaire thinking means refusing to see failure as final. Every mistake is a lesson. Every loss is tuition. Most people fear loss so much they never try. Millionaires understand that the only true loss is inaction. This mindset isn't glamorous. It won't impress anyone on social media, but it's the foundation of real wealth. Because while the average person is busy chasing instant comfort, millionaires are building invisible empires, brick by brick, choice by choice. And by the time the results are visible, it's already too late for everyone else to catch up. Here's another key difference. Poor thinking says, "Life happens to me." Millionaire thinking says, "I happen to life." The poor mindset sees circumstances as chains. I can't get ahead because of the economy. I can't save because my job doesn't pay enough. I can't invest because the market is too risky. Every sentence starts with, "I can't." The millionaire mindset flips the script. If the economy is tough, how can I adapt? If my job doesn't pay enough, how can I create a new stream of income? If the market is risky, how can I manage the risk instead of avoiding it? Every sentence starts with, "How can I?" Take two people during a recession. One cuts back, panics, and complains that nothing works. The other studies, learns new skills, buys undervalued investments, and positions themselves for the rebound. A decade later, their lives don't even look comparable. The difference isn't the world. The difference is the lens they look through. Because here's the truth. Millionaire thinking isn't about ignoring problems. It's about refusing to surrender to them. It's about asking better questions until you find better answers. And the person who asks, "How can I?" will always outpace the person who says, "I can't." Here's the secret no one tells you. Millionaire thinking has nothing to do with the size of your bank account. You can start with $0 and still think like a millionaire. It shows up in the tiny choices. Do you spend the extra $20 on takeout tonight, or do you save it and let it grow? Do you waste an evening scrolling, or do you use it to learn a skill that could raise your income? Do you complain about problems, or do you search for solutions? These decisions look small. They don't feel like much in the moment. But over time, they separate lives. One path leads to decades of debt and regret. The other path leads to freedom. The truth is, most people wait for money to change their mindset. But the reality is the opposite. You must change your mindset before money ever arrives. Because if you think poor with a poor bank account, you'll think poor with a rich one too. And no amount of money can save someone from their own habits. Millionaire thinking isn't about reaching a number. It's about practicing the mindset now, so that when money comes, you're ready to multiply it instead of lose it. This is why wealth is built twice. First in the mind, then in the bank. So here's the truth. If you wait until you have $1 million to think like a millionaire, you'll never have it. Wealth is not a number in the bank. It's a way of thinking, a way of living, a way of making decisions every single day. Most people spend their lives chasing money without changing their mindset. And when money finally comes, they lose it because they never learned how to think like someone who keeps it. That's why lottery winners go broke. That's why high earners live paycheck to paycheck. But the ones who build lasting wealth do the opposite. They start thinking like millionaires when their accounts are still small. They ask, how can I use this money to grow? They invest in themselves, in skills and assets. They choose discipline over impulse, value over vanity, freedom over appearances. And slowly, choice by choice, the mindset builds the money. So the question is, which mindset will you choose? You can think like the 90%, chasing comfort, chasing likes, chasing quick wins, and stay stuck. Or you can think like the few who understand that freedom isn't bought, it's built. Start thinking like a millionaire today. Because once your mind is rich, your bank account is only a matter of time.